Okay, so today our objective and you want to write this in your notebook on page 13. Finding the area of a right triangle. Okay. A right triangle is any triangle that has a right angle in it. And a right angle is just defined as one that is right? It's got that 90 degrees, right? And we did discuss this a little yesterday, and we talked about it with the geoboards, but any right triangle of any shape is going to be 1/2 of a larger rectangle, right? It's going to have the same base length, which in this case is 5, and the same height length, which in this case is 10, right? So if we multiplied this rectangle, the area would be 50. But since we're only doing just the triangle, we only need half, which would be 25. So basically, for any right triangle, and you want to write this down in your notes, for any right triangle, you can think of it as half of a rectangle or half of a square. And since it's half of a rectangle or half of a square, you can cut it right in half. That being the case, the way you would write a formula for area of a triangle, you would take base, because that's what we call the bottom of a triangle, times height, and then divide that in half. So the area for a triangle is base times height divided by 2, or as you will often see it written, 1/2 of times base times height. Because as we all remember, of course, that multiplying by 1/2 is the same thing as dividing by 2. And so the really only other thing that we would need to think about is that if we have a triangle and we're given the area of the triangle, so this area is 10 by 15. Multiply 10 by 15, you get 150. Blah, blah, blah. So that'd be 100. It would be 75, or half of 150. So if you were just given 75, and then not given 15, and you were to be asked, right, the area of a triangle is 75 units squared, and the base is 10, how would you go about solving that? Well, you would have to take the area, multiply it by 2, the same way you divided it by 2 to get the area for the triangle. That would give you 150, right? Then divide 150 by 10, and that would give you 15. So very similar to the rectangle method that we would use to find a missing side, except for we have to multiply the area by 2, because that's how we found it in, that's how we divided by 2 to find the area of a triangle. So in order to find the area, the length, we have to turn it back into a square area, which means multiplying it by 2. Okay? Okay, so now do page 48, 8 to 18. And when you're done, we can get started on the homework 2-2.